Hello, welcome to New Gameplay Today. I am one of your hosts, Wesley LeBlanc. Today we are joined by Game Informer editor Kyle Hilliard. How you doing?
Good. One of your hosts. I always thought of New Gameplay Today as a single host show.
It might be. I'm never sure because I'm like I guess I'm technically hosting this one, but I don't want to downplay your role in it. You know, it wouldn't be a conversation if you weren't also here hosting it.
Yeah, but you did all the work. You're playing Afterimage.
Afterimage, yes. Right. This is a 2D Metroidvania style game. I would say it's most reminiscent of like the Ori franchise. And it comes from developer Aurogon Shanghai, which kind of newer. They've developed a series I've never really heard of called Guijan, Gujian.
Hold on. Guj?
Yes, IAN.
IAN. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with that series either, but I'm Googling it to be like, have I played one of these? I don't think I have.
I think there's at least 3 of them because there's Steam stores showing Guijan 3.
Okay.
But yeah, this is Afterimage, and it's hand-drawn, first of all, which, you know, that's the thing that stood out to me most with this game and why I wanted to check it out was these visuals.
Yeah, I like the way it looks. This is my first time seeing it in action. I've seen like a trailer here and there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's super vibrant, and it kind of has. It reminds me of like Genshin Impact with character designs. You know, it's like a mix of that fantastical kind of look and feel with these hand-drawn art styles, and I'm really liking it a lot. But I guess perhaps better than that is that the game is actually a lot of fun, which is great. It's pretty standard Metroidvania. Like, you're just exploring an area and kind of filling out a map and unlocking.
Let me ask you this real quick. Before you get too much further along. Which side of the Metroidvania does it lean on between the two? Because there is a difference, I would argue.
Yeah. I would say so far the Castlevania side.
Okay, yeah, it looked like some numbers were appearing when you were hitting enemies,
yes,
which to me implies Castlevania.
Like, I guess, what's the difference between the two for you?
Metroid is more focused on exploration and finding items, where Castlevania is about RPG elements and leveling up. Like, you don't...
Okay, cool.
It's pretty rare in Castlevania that you need an item. Well, I guess that's not true, but it's like it leans less on the fact that like you need this one specific thing to make progress here, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like spike armor and a double jump, but beyond that, it's pretty much focused on just getting stronger by leveling up, as opposed to finding items from exploring.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, we're like on the exact same page. Like for me, it's like Metroid. I mean, it has a lot of combat, but it's the exploration, and Castlevania is about feeling powerful, growing more powerful, and defeating enemies. So yeah, I do think this falls on the Castlevania side of things, and that is because it kind of is very like RPG-ish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at this gate here. I mean, that feels like a direct Castlevania reference,
Yeah. But yeah, like you mentioned, the numbers pop up when you're like in combat, but you have 2 weapons at your disposal, at least this early. And by the way, this is like within the first 2 hours of the game. So you have like not like a heavy and a light weapon, you just have 2 weapon slots. And I'm playing, this is on PC, but I'm using an Xbox controller. So it's just 2 different buttons that use these different weapons. And right now I'm running like a wooden sword and a whip, which I guess is also very Castlevania.
Yeah, now that we've made a little progress and I saw the bridge, letting you into this area and you're using a whip, I'm embarrassed that I even asked which side of the spectrum it's on, because it's very clearly Castlevania.
Yeah, but the whip is one of the newer weapons I got. I originally had just like a scythe, which I guess is also Castlevania.
Yeah, it's pretty Castlevania as well. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, when there's no shortage of games inspired by Castlevania, but like, they can be kind of hit and miss, and so far you seem positive on this one, so that's good.
Yeah, something I'm really enjoying about the combat compared to other Metroidvanias, like the main thing that's standing out for me is the enemies are pretty unique. They're not just attacking you with a standard move. Like they kind of have like a rotation of moves they'll use, and you have to react a certain way to dodge them. So let's see. Okay, we're looking at the map. This guy right here he does that swing, and you need to like use your backdash to avoid it. But then there's the arrow, the guys that shoot arrows, and you need to either jump over the arrow or duck under the arrow. And then there's other enemies that shoot projectiles that you need to hit back like a parry to damage them. And I'm liking how every enemy has like, okay, you need to fight this enemy a certain way. You can't just go and hack and slash. You need to, learn the pattern. When you see the guy shooting the bow and arrow, he's going to shoot up and you need to jump, or he's going to shoot down and you need to crouch. And I think it's that's been interesting so far. And we'll get to a boss battle later where it kind of mends all of those things together.
Yeah, like just a little bit of strategy for everybody, right? Is what
exactly.
It sounds like. And it looks like they take more than one hit as well.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I haven't. The game has not made me feel like too powerful yet. I have a lot of health, so like dying while exploring is pretty rare. But yeah, you're having to put in the work to like take down enemies. And this is just the opening, so I mean, it could grow to be significantly harder. The first boss, which we'll see later, took me probably 10 or 12 times.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah,
it's very challenging. I mean, not super very challenging. I shouldn't say that. It's like a really great challenge. My problem was I was trying to just hack and slash them instead of learning their rotation of moves, which I should have, considering that's what all the other enemies made me do. But Kyle, I wanted to ask, like, so Metroidvania is, it's a popular kind of buzzword term that we use to describe these kind of games. And not that they're a dime a dozen, but there's plenty out there to play if you want to. For you, like, what piques your interest or like makes a new Metroidvania something you want to check out? Is there like something new specifically you look for in these games?
I mean, embarrassingly, not really. Like I when I'm in the mood to play games like this, which is often, I'm kind of always on the lookout for like that style of game. Mostly, I just want it to be a solid version of that genre. There's a couple, like the couple that I played in the past that like just didn't really click with me. Like I was always surprised that Igarashi's Kickstarter game, what was it called? Bloodstain, like didn't click with me.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and I think it was because it got too open too early. Like the map, it let you into the larger castle like too quickly. I got lost very fast. So now, like
the boat battle, the ship battle, and then you're right in the castle for the rest of the game. Pretty much. Yeah.
And I think now the sort of thing that I look for with these kind of games is like, that it looks good and plays well, but also the pace is correct. Like it doesn't make you feel too lost too quickly. Like I'm at a point now where when I see a game like this, I'm like, oh, I like these kinds of games. I want to check this out. It's not really a specific like new idea that I really want to embrace as much as it's like, is it well done for the genre? Are these, like, I get into the minutia of like, are these elements clicking for me? Are these things working?
Yeah, I feel that.
There haven't been a ton lately that I've really gotten into. I liked, there was one recently that begins with a year, 9 years. I'm never going to remember the name of it.
I think the last
9 Years of Shadow, I played about half of, and I thought it was pretty solid.
Heard of that.
Yeah, that's like kind of a more recent one.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I think the last one I played was, I mean, other than Metroid Dread, which I don't know, that is a Metroid game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Which was a great one. I love Metroid Dread. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would have been the second Ori game, Will of the Wisps, to be honest. I love these games a lot, but they're similar to Souls games for me, where like I think one a year, maybe two, is where I tap out, just because I play these pretty exhaustingly. Like I try to 100% them.
Right.
And that can be a lot when it comes to Metroidvanias. And I also have the problem where if I start a game and I like it even a little bit, I like force myself to finish it, even though I don't necessarily need to do that with every single game. And Metroidvanias can be quite hazardous to that.
Yeah.
This is what I think I'm gonna keep playing it. It's fun. It's not like so obtuse or challenging that I'm like bashing my head against a wall. I'm really enjoying just like the focus on combat and the RPG, which I haven't even touched on, but there is like a ton of leveling. It's kind of similar to Final Fantasy X's like ability system. I forget the name of that.
The sphere grid, is that what it's called in 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just have like kind of a bunch of circles on your little ability map, and you just kind of branch out as you level up, and you can assign talent points to those. And I really like it. It does get into the minutia of numbers, which I know some people might not like as much. Like it'll say like, oh, increase main attack by +2 and you know, second attack by +1, and more of the minutia numbers like that, as opposed to just saying
like it doesn't
attack.
When you unlock it, it doesn't really change the way you play in a significant way, kind of thing.
Yeah, your talents are more like affecting your stats, but that's like the RPG element that I appreciate about the Castlevania side of Metroidvania. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you're watching this and you really like the RPG aspect of these games, like this game has a lot of that. It leans quite heavily into that. And there's also like abilities you get to unlock. My back dash is one, my forward dash is an ability, and there's other ones I've seen that I haven't unlocked yet that you can unlock.
So it gives you, but you have a lot of choice in the trajectory, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, you have a ton. Like
okay.
your starting circle is in the middle, and then there's like 6 paths you can go on from there. Wonder if I can't remember if I stopped by talent here.
At this point in playing, do you have a double jump?
I do not have a double jump. You have you just tap to jump, and then if you hold it instead of tapping it, you'll jump a little higher, and then you can attack while in the air to kind of float for like half a second to go a little bit longer. And then I unlocked the forward dash, which you can use as well. But yeah, now that you mention it, no double jump yet, which is curious. That's like, I could use a double jump.
That's when in these type of games, that's like a very specific moment, right? You're like, okay, now I'm really in it.
and then you're like, okay, all those things I missed earlier, I can just go reach now easily.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton that a double jump would have gotten me to, for sure.
Yeah, it's like the Metroid equivalent of like the morph ball.
Yes.
Where you're like, okay, now the game can truly start, you know?
Yeah.
Which is why it was funny that Dread actually withheld it for so long, the morph ball.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that was like, well, not near the end of the game, but at least like halfway through.
It was just much further than you'd expect, because usually it's the first thing you get, you know?
Yeah.
You save by punching a tree? Is that what I'm seeing?
So when you go to that tree, it's like a kind of in like a bonfire-esque fashion. You heal, enemies reset, and then when you die, you do lose your experience, and you have to go pick it up from that enemy.
Okay, so there is, God forbid we summon the name.
I know.
There's a little bit of Dark Souls in there. It's there. Come on, we can't deny it.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said bonfire instead of souls. I was like, if someone doesn't know, maybe. But yeah, so this is the first boss I fought in the game, and I really, really enjoyed it. I died a bunch trying to learn its moves. Of course, I'm not going to show that here because I'm a pro gamer. But
you're saying this is edited?
No, not at all. No, this is actually first try.
I was about to say you're pretty good for a first try. You already got him down to half health.
That's cool. No, it took me quite a bit to get here. But yeah, this boss has like 6 or 7 different moves, and then when you get to, I actually never figured out how to not get hit by that one. When you get their health down to half, they double every move.
What do you mean by that? They double? Oh, they
do it twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so their projectile goes out twice. That move happens twice. Yeah, 2 projectiles right here. It's very fun. It's like you'd have to memorize their moves and act quickly. And I think the purpose of this boss was to teach you that you cannot just go and spam attacks. You have to, take your 1 or 2 attacks and then back off to safety.
Right.
Otherwise, they punish you quite hard, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little window there. Okay, I see.
Yeah. I
see how you could have done it. I can armchair expert this. Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I wanted to show this part only because there's voice acting in the game, and lots of it, which is cool. I feel like that you don't get that too often in this genre of games. And yeah, it's pretty good. The small little companion-like character with the main character is, I'm not the biggest fan of their voice. They just kind of have that like loud and scratchy, cutesy voice, and they're kind of yelling in your ears a lot. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so this is Afterimage. It's out on. If you're watching this, it's out very soon. It's April 25th, which I believe is next Tuesday. Yes, next Tuesday. Developer Aurogon Shanghai, publisher Modus Games, and you can play this on basically everywhere. PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. The footage we've been watching today is PC. It has had a little bit of stuttering, but this is not the final build. But like, if this was, if I was reviewing this right now, I would not be disappointed at all by the performance. It's been completely fine and great. But yeah, that's Afterimage. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna check it out on my Steam Deck.
You should. Ooh, my gosh, I didn't even think about Steam Deck. I've been playing it on my. Ooh, this is good. I'm gonna have a good weekend. All right, bye everyone.